do it.
All right. Hey, welcome back to BearNet. We're going to be trying something a little more informal than the full introductions we've been running with lately. So we're just going to go with name, tag. Bombadil, well, I just introduced you, but do you want to introduce yourself or do you want us to introduce you?
Hey, this is Darren, also known as Bombadil, and this is BearNet.
Indeed.
Oh, thanks for the sweet intro.
That's good enough.
We
That's good
appreciate
enough.
that.
This is Jeremy, otherwise known as Ghost.
This is Greg, also known as Alex.
And this is Tyler, also known as Sands.
And Tyson.
The secret guy.
Secret guy.
All right. So for tonight, we've got some casual drops planned, along with a little bit of updates that you all can feed on. I'm sure they'll be enjoying it.
And if you haven't guessed already, we have a special guest here, Bombadil, as he has said. So,
got me all
welcome
excited
to
for
the
a
show.
second.
We're glad to have you with us.
He broke his heart,
man. It's okay. He'll be all right. He's piloting inner sphere stuff. He's used to being brokenhearted.
Right.
All right, Tice, just on you, man. So, what we got for this week, Sans?
First, we're gonna have a quick heads-up announcement. I know people have gotten used to tournaments and challenges being run over the weekend for the past couple of months, but PGI has went ahead and said, as you may have noticed last week, for the next couple of weeks they're not planning on doing any challenges or tournaments because it's all full bore ahead to Community Warfare. So we all get a little bit of a break from the weekend commitments, and then PGI has a little bit more time to work on Community Warfare. So, warning there. We've also got a couple of cool updates and a really exciting one that just happened. I'm assuming we can talk about it since PGI has posted it on their forum.
Of course.
Breaking news.
It is breaking news.
You're actually getting a PBS NewsHour moment tonight, guys, so get excited for it.
I guess we'll talk about it in depth a little bit later, but we're going to go ahead and preface right up front. That December 16th patch that's going to be having Community Warfare and the King Crab and the Gargoyle and the rest of the Wave 2 stuff. Well, the 16th is still the date for the Community Warfare stuff, but all of those sweet new battle mechs are being moved up to the 9th. So the Gargoyle and the King Crab will be available for players who pre-ordered them tomorrow, as I'm sure Alex is extremely excited about. Crab battle!
Crab battle! Oh my gosh, finally I can hear him shut up about it.
Dude, what are you talking about? For the next 3 weeks, all I'm gonna do is pilot King Crabs and yell crab battle at the beginning of matches. That's just gonna be how it is.
My first goal is to figure out how I have to stagger autocannon rounds to get the crab claws to open and close as fast as possible. So I'm just gonna chain them and just clickety clack with the claws as I kill people.
So it makes a clanging sound every couple seconds. It's like clang, 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 clang.
Oh, clank Kodiak.
Well, at least we know we won't be seeing 24 King Crabs in every battle. It'll at least be limited, but there's going to be a lot of them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, I imagine so. The assault queue is going to go crazy.
Sensors online.
Darren, have you had the pleasure of playing both that and the Gargoyle?
I have.
Now, which do you think? Well, I guess this is kind of a two-part question.
King Crab is the answer.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say, which do you think is more to your play style, and which do you think you like better?
Gargoyle is going to be interesting. I couldn't come out. I mean, it's going to be, I think, another laser vomit clan mech. But I just don't know. I don't know at that weight class whether it outperforms other mechs at similar weight. So it may be an aesthetic thing. It's got low slung arms where most of the weaponry is. So I just don't know how it's going to play out. I had a lot more fun jumping in that King Crab. But,
gotcha.
I'm also inner sphere, so maybe that's what it is.
I mean, who doesn't like being the biggest stompy robot out there right now?
Well, yeah.
It is the king.
It's kind of sad for the Gargoyle because I think it is getting overshadowed by the King Crab. Maybe there'd be more appreciation for it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Phil's going to post some screenshots and some video tonight, so we'll see what people's reaction is.
Well, the Gargoyle
Sounds great.
seems like it just mainly is just laser vomit. what I've seen. Like, it has
Yeah.
those 2 ballistic mounts, but it's on like 2 variants or like that.
From what I can tell, looking at where the hard points are, I think that it's going to benefit from extremely aggressive play. It's not going to do a very good job with cover humping or pop
At 25%.
sniping or peekaboo or anything like that. It's
Target
to me
acquired.
strikes me as a mech that you have to basically rush your
New
opponent.
target
It is
acquired.
decently fast. It's maneuverable, so that is its one strength, or at least
25%.
one of its strengths.
They're lower right now.
SCM.
They're coming up the big ramp.
Oh no, missiles! Okay.
We have at least a little bit of ECM cover this time.
Delta Direwolf is out in the open.
Already strike on us.
Airstrike online.
Left flank.
Airstrike
What's that?
online.
Something popped down lower, Charlie 3.
Stormcrow. It was a Stormcrow.
Target acquired.
There's
Alright.
a
New
Jaeger mech with
target acquired.
Yeah, it's
Airstrike
Charlie.
lots of rifles
online.
all the way in the back.
Oh, bull. Lucky shot. Alright. Alright.
Yeah, he's definitely got the right flank covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That
does.
dual Gauss is still pretty strong. Even with all this large pulses and stuff.
Alright, see, I popped him with an airstrike.
I'm gonna try going along the left.
Feeling a
here.
little pin here.
We are.
That Jaeger.
Oh my god. There's 2 direwolves looking straight at us too, right at Theta. We need to do
Yeah,
something
they-
else.
They definitely were
Target
ruining my day a
acquired.
second ago.
I'm down. Watch out, they have like a UX5 or... Oh no, it's an Ultra AC-10. Direwolf. D3.
Alright.
If you go around that left side, he's gonna nail you. Like that, Alex.
Yeah.
New
I say we
target
just have to rush
acquired.
over.
Yeah.
No, they have a lot of firepower looking at Theta right now. I don't think that'd be wise. Hellbringer and something else on left flank of Theta.
Half.
Speaking of the Hellbringer, that has seen a lot of comp play
New
recently.
target acquired.
I'm pretty impressed with it, actually. After the hitbox pass, it really performs.
Yeah. And a lot of the higher
At
tonnage
25%.
matches, especially the 10v10
New
Clan
target
Novicat match
acquired.
that they had. Clan Novicat, was it? But anyways, with the ECM,
It's
it's
a Direwolf in the center.
I'll wait until you guys are done.
I say we push a little bit right. See if we can
Yeah.
kind of counterclockwise them around. Apply some pressure.
New target
That
acquired.
Dark
Direwolf
Hole,
is
that
out to
Direwolf.
get me.
New
Flanked
target
left side.
acquired.
Half.
Commodore, I think everybody dropped down.
Target destroyed. New target
One Direwolf's down.
acquired.
Bunch of them up in the center of Theta.
Yep.
New target acquired.
I'm in pretty bad shape.
Let's go ahead and push up. We got something off our right flank in Delta 3, but
Stormcrow. It's a Stormcrow. He's a
yeah,
straight crow.
most of them are on the other side of Theta, I think. There they are.
Back.
New target acquired.
That stalker just dropped left flank.
Destroyed.
All right, Bravo.
Destroyed.
Shit, sorry.
He's down. I'm sorry.
They're all pushing left. Let's push back on them.
Yep.
Target destroyed.
There's a Storm Crow up in Charlie 4.
acquired. New target
He's a
acquired.
SRM Crow.
Let's get them CT.
Fox is last target.
Target destroyed.
He's down.
All right.
Nice.
That was pretty. That was looking pretty hairy there for a minute.
Good
Yeah.
call, push.
No, I think they got it. Or that we were gonna win that because they got hit pretty hard walking over there.
Stood well. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I was saying about the Hellbringer, that it's really valuable in comp because all of a sudden people don't have to take Atlases in order to have an ECM that goes along with the team. You know, you have the lights with the ECM, but you can't just have a spider just sitting with, you know, heavies and mediums all the time. It's a waste of a light.
If you guys don't mind me going a little bit back on topic of the
Sure.
gargoyle,
Go for it.
because I was thinking about it. One thing that's going to come into play, you were saying the Hellbringer's seeing a lot of action now. Some mechs might see more action very soon, like the 16th, because of the community warfare maps. The engagements are extended. And so ammo-dependent mechs, it's going to be a little interesting to see how it all works out, but definitely the laser-based builds, which the gargoyle most likely will be, are going to see more action, I think.
Now,
You're right.
have you seen any of the maps actually up close and personal, or at least like have
I've been playtesting it, man.
Oh, have you? Okay,
Yes,
well that's excellent.
yes, sir.
Because then I have a perfect question for you. Is
Mhm.
there any map right now that's comparative in size to what we're going to see out of the common warfare matches, or is it just too big to even try and throw on that scale at the moment?
No, the problem is that well, not a problem, but the reason why it's hard for me to say scale wise is compared to this map or that map is the maps are laid out differently. They're set up kind of in stages
Because
know?
it's objective based, right?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So it's more elongated almost. I would have to let me think about that, and I'll let you know if I think there's a good comparison. They're big enough to feel pretty epic. I wouldn't say that they're bigger than Alpine or anything like that. But yeah, it's definitely cool because of the stage aspect. So you have, one objective, then you got to work out the next objective, and you got to really work tightly with your group. Otherwise, especially attacking, it's going to fail. Actually, both attacking and defending, you really need to be organized. And yeah, it's just there's going to be some long engagements. So it's going to be interesting to see how ammo works out. I can't see everybody just going laser build. So, I'm sure when it comes in, there's going to be a lot of things that we discover as mech warriors and community warfare, but it's going to be awesome, guys. It's going to
I
be
think
seriously.
It's gonna be a lot like open beta all over again.
Oh, it's a different gameplay experience for sure.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right.
Those minimalist ammo builds
ready.
you see, they're not going to be too viable in those settings. That's good to hear, though.
I mean, it just depends on the way the matches play out, because you do have dropship mode, so you have 4 ships in your arsenal, or 4 mechs. I mean, so you could say, maybe your last mech in your lineup is your ammo dependent one, and I don't know how people are going to work it out. It's going to be really interesting to see. Whenever you put something in, everybody does their science, and the best stuff floats to the top or whatever. So it's going to be cool to see how your drop decks get arranged and how people work with them.
I hope that LRMs will see a sort of resurgence, alarm boats, because the maps have a lot of like turrets and stuff, right?
There's turrets and obstacles that you have to kind of shoot over almost at some point. I think indirect fire will help. Now, well, I already know that indirect fire helps, but again, when you give it to thousands and thousands of people and they do the science and they kind of fine tune everything and do the min maxing, I have no idea what's going to wash up in the end. But I can tell you right now that I've seen LRMs be a huge asset. So yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking just like a Raven with a tag, large lasers just sits in the back, and then
Absolutely.
all the turrets are gone. It's been great. LRMs will actually be indirect fire weapons like they were supposed to. Well, maybe not supposed to, but just how people have been trying to play them.
Yeah, I think the potency of different weapon systems is going to, not necessarily drastically change, but at least change some aspects just due to the differences that we'll be facing.
I'll tell you what's going to be fun and what I'm super excited about, which is ironic because I won't really be able to participate on this at this level. And when MechWarrior first was announced, all I could think about was participating at this level. Is actual organized community warfare with your unit, with your clan, whatever you're in. It's like I was super involved in World of Tanks, clan warfare on there, clan wars. And organizing matches, defending, you're in there. It's different regions on a map, but obviously, MechWarrior, it's your planets or whatever. Coming up with strategies, sitting and talking for hours with your unit, going, okay, let's do it. How about if we try it this way, or if we try it that way? And organizing and succeeding with your team is it's the best feeling ever. So I'm super excited about that. Basically, for all of you, I'm bummed that I don't get to do that. But to me, that's the best thing. Like I've been waiting for this for as long as everybody else has.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It sounds pretty exciting.
Yep, I agree. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yep. And although I think Bombadil kind of overshadowed the general updates we have because they're the ones that have already been released, but that's some really awesome new information.
And the Community Warfare December 3, right? Is that the one you're talking about?
I'm talking about the stuff that's on the 16th.
Okay.
These are the basics of that new post that went up on the 2nd. Let me get it for the chat.
Oh, I think the first point on that, you're talking about the loyalty point bonuses from the contracts, how they changed all that.
Yeah, but I was more concerned with the quick announcement, which is the reclarification of how groups and teams will be working. I think there's been some confusion about this. Certainly has been a little bit of it in our own unit, which is the distinction between a group and a team. The team is all 12 pilots. A group is the pilots you are specifically grouped up with. The team in a match will consist of anyone who is affiliated with that combat. So if you're Ghost Bear fighting Rasselhog, one side's going to be all Ghost Bear, the other side will be all Rasselhog. And they can be made up of people from different units. However, the groups are required to be all from the same unit. So if a couple of Clan Ghost Bear International guys team up with a couple of Clan Kodiak guys and say, hey, let's hit this planet, they're going to have to do it in separate groups. They can't group up together and hit the queue. It's at least that's how I understand it as it's described.
Right.
But would that be so bad? Because instead of one dropship going, we have two dropships going.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. It's a thing. It's got good things and bad things associated with it. I just know that in our own unit there was a little bit of confusion about what exactly was the difference, and I just wanted to clarify a little bit.
Clarifying is good. I just want to make one real quick point, though, that all these things are
subject to change.
Absolutely subject
Right.
to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I mean, we want community warfare to be the best experience possible. So if there's things that need to be changed to be improved, they absolutely will.
That being said, while we have you here, what's your
Gotta
thought
go,
on
guys.
the?
See ya.
What's your thought on the current contract lengths with it down to 7, 14, and 28 days?
Honestly, dude, I can't even. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see it in action.
Yeah, I agree.
I haven't even really been putting my thought into that. We've just been literally just testing the maps and the
Right.
the gameplay, so I haven't even really put enough thought into that. I'm fine with it because I know that if it's not good, it'll just get changed.
Yeah, that seems particularly easy to change as well.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention the fantastic PGI has just been so fast about changing things now in a positive way. I think that they've really made a change for the best.
Looks like Odd Banjo is asking if changes will be made while Community Warfare is live.
Will changes be made to Community Warfare once it's live?
Yes.
Is that the
I
question?
think it would have to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if there's balancing that needs to be done, tweaking that needs to be done, absolutely.
Alex, are you dead?
I am dead. I think I got dual god-shotted from a pair of direwolves simultaneously.
Sorry about that.
I see.
Target acquired.
Got a couple on the right
Let's
flank.
see if we can't even the score here. Let's kill Charlie since he's out of position.
He has LRM 10 and AC 20.
Get him!
Target destroyed.
Yeah.
Heat level critical.
There's a storm crow also over here somewhere, just up to 7.
Timberwolf Delta's right behind us.
I'm with you.
Target acquired.
Slowly walking up to you guys.
Heat level.
Poor TMB.
Warning incoming.
Oh, we got Bravo as well.
Target destroyed.
Up left side.
Yep. They're split there.
Target
Sorry, Fenris,
acquired.
whoever that is.
Bravo, Storm Crow. Oh, it's just a nick, don't worry about it.
Heat level critical. New target acquired.
They're coming up from behind.
Yeah.
Got a large group on the right.
New target acquired.
Yeah, I'm coming up from behind them also.
No, sorry.
Got Hotel, Direwolf on our right.
Nice spirit.
New target acquired. Heat level critical.
Already strike on us.
I always shut down when I'm running this map.
Guys, we're in trouble. We're gonna get separated from the other group.
Alright, Fox. Mine.
They're pushing right.
Hotel. They're pushing right along that channel there in Delta 7.
We're gonna get caught here, Sans.
I don't know if there's much we can do about it. If we get caught, we can always.
You got arty strike, use it.
Plus, we've got a team with us.
New target
You should be able to back up. There should be an exit right around
Yeah.
there. into
They're going to
E6.
want to push up towards our team in Delta 7. So I actually think we're in a pretty good flanking position where we are.
Alright, let me see what's over here real quick.
Well, you guys are up 6-1, so I'm not sure it's necessarily be completely worried about that.
Arty strike on us.
New target acquired.
Really, you guys are the only ones that have good fire movement
Left arm
because
critical.
they have the height advantage here.
Left leg critical.
Can't really shoot them without getting shot.
Forces destroyed. Left arm destroyed.
Nice save, bomb.
Fuel at 0%. Heat sink destroyed. Target acquired.
You killed the hobo who saved Christmas. How could you?
100%.
Now who will save Christmas?
Now the Grinch is going to steal all of our presents, and it's entirely your fault.
At 25%. Target destroyed.
No, I couldn't get up there.
See, now I feel bad because I was the only one to die.
Hey man, I didn't even get into the fight until like 8 minutes in there.
I think it was your death that really kind of motivated us all anyway.
Yes,
To,
That's right.
galvanized us to seek
Yes.
revenge.
Well, yeah,
Galvanized.
at least I'm good for something then.
Well, you do motivate us, Alex. That, and that, in the very least, is what you do.
Kind of like, you know, a mascot, if you will.
Well, no, now that I'm dead, I mean, I'd probably be just reincarnated in a dreadnought, because we all know I'm obviously superior enough to be put in a dreadnought.
It's...
Yes. All right. Well, I think I'll save what I've got written down for a little bit later, so we've got some topics
Okay.
to stretch out over the stream.
Can ISMEX take contracts to attack other? Can can Liao take contracts to attack another, like a clan? Clan?
Is there interfaction? Yes.
Well, like Liao is not on the border with clans. Can they take a contract to attack a clan? That's what one of our viewers, Heimelganger, is asking. Which
that's a good question.
Can they have a contract function like Mercs?
Can a house have a contract function like Mercs? I would to answer that specifically. I'd have to know. I'd have to ask somebody. That's a good question, and I'll look into it. Sorry, I can't answer it right now.
I have a similar question actually, which is they announced in one of the earlier stages that there was going to be a separation between the nature of the engagements, that there were going to be faction-specific engagements and then force-specific engagements. The factions being, the specific clans and houses, and the forces just being clans in general versus inner sphere in general. Were they still planning on going with that model, or did they change that?
Honestly, the technicalities or the logistics of the contracts and attacking and defending, I don't know. That stuff's still literally right now being ironed out and worked out.
Okay.
All we've been doing as far as testing is testing the maps, testing the game mode, and that stuff's changing on a like a daily basis, the way they're putting stuff together. And yeah, so I again, that's just another one that I can't answer. I wish I could, because I love logistics. Logistics is, to me, a huge part of the whole process, and just as fun as actual fighting. So I just don't know where everything's going to be when the dust settles on the 16th.
Understood.
All right. Well, I think that clearly answered
Clearly didn't answer.
Well,
Clearly didn't answer.
Okay, it didn't give an answer, but it did.
Clearly made more
did,
fog in the conversation at the end.
No, I'll say it put it into perspective. So we can expect an answer, I suppose, closer to the actual date, which is, to be expected.
There's going to be stuff when it goes live that I'm going to be sitting there trying to figure out, and yeah. I mean, it's just It's pretty intricate. It's pretty detailed. It's a lot of fun to sit on that, the galaxy map and check out how the contracts work. But I mean, it's just, it's too early for me to give specifics.
So, next patch, there's going to be some hitbox changes, and some of them are kind of weird. Like the mislinks. Does it really need a hitbox change? Maybe on its arms. I guess.
I
think
think
like
that's
the Mad
the
Dog.
plan.
It's
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing.
What about for the Mad Dog, though?
I think the plan is to make the side torsos a little less shootable, because right now they are very shootable.
I guess.
That's just what I recall from reading that announcement.
Well, do any of you play the Mad Dog a lot?
Ghost, you
Somebody
play the Mad
does.
Dog a lot?
I do. I raise my
So
hand.
what do you feel?
My opinion is, I think it's already a pretty solid mech. I think that anyone that has anything bad to say about it just hasn't dropped in it enough.
We should preface that Ghost is a Mad Dog fanboy, like a serious one.
I am.
His
But
forum icon on our own unit forum is Mad Dog.
He has a shrine
So-
to Mad Dogs in his
That's
video.
right. Bow down to it every
I
day.
understand. I'm the same way with the Warhammer, so
Online.
lucky you get to see your mech in the game.
Sensors online.
Yes.
Oh,
Mad
no,
Dog, yeah.
sad.
Ancestors.
I think it
All
it could use a couple little tweaks, but nothing that would vastly change what it can already do. Yeah, sometimes I think, if anything, the movement of it sometimes feels a little bit clumsier than what I feel that it should be capable of. But like if I get in and out of a Mad Dog versus a Timberwolf, it feels like the Timberwolf is actually a little bit more nimble at times, which doesn't seem right to me considering it's 15 tons heavier. That would probably be the only thing that I would look into addressing. I think hitbox wise, it's really not that bad. But maybe I'm just playing it differently.
Well, would improving it hitbox wise make it OP in your opinion, or are you just like, I mean, have to complain that it gets better.
I'm trying to stay as unbiased as possible in that opinion, but I think that any hitbox change that they decide to do, I think would help it to be a little bit more survivable on the battlefield, which would definitely help it out a lot.
Online.
Yeah.
Because it does
I
fit in that
agree with
realm, I think, of being a 60 tonner. Some people won't take it simply because it's a 60 tonner. Why would you take a 60 tonner over a 75 tonner? And maybe a hitbox buff slightly would help people to decide on using it a little bit more consistently.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that I don't think any hitbox change it would get would suddenly make the Mad Dog totally OP or anything like that. I feel like we might see a little bit more use from it, and I mean it's a decent mech in terms of hardpoint, and I like where the cockpit is. Which I feel is one of its big strengths, that super high cockpit.
Yeah.
Agree.
But it is pretty easy to de-torso right now, based on my own use of the mech and shooting at them. So I think it could do with a little bit of an increase in difficulty for landing those blows on the side torsos. My only concern is how they plan on doing that. If they plan on doing it by making the arms a bigger hitbox, that I think would work better. But if they plan on doing it by making the center torso the bigger hitbox, I'm not sure if that's going to help or hurt.
That wouldn't work. Because it has to look like straight on in order to hit a target.
Yeah.
Its arms don't really hold anything.
We might be leaving a few people behind. I think they're pushing already past Citadel. Charlie 4. Yep, they're already up in Bravo 4.
Race car!
Target acquired.
You want to go back and help those guys over in Bravo 4?
I just want to keep us somewhat
Looks
together.
like 4 versus 1 back there.
I'm bailing.
Okay,
because
yeah,
I only
we'll-
have LRMs.
We'll just keep pressing then.
3
If he's
versus
by
1.
himself.
They will die probably if they
New
don't.
target
there's-
acquired.
There's other stuff up there.
Well, if they don't leave, which they're not doing, okay, let's turn around.
Is there more than just the mislings? Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. It looks like a full lance.
All right, returning. RTB.
But there's no base.
But we have to stay together.
New target acquired.
Echo!
Echo.
Get his legs!
Airstrike activated. New target acquired.
Yeah, they're all over the place up here.
Don't go down there. There is a fucking cataphract 4X down there with the
Blackjack down.
485
New
build.
target
Target
acquired.
Alpha.
Down in the water, coming to the right.
New target acquired.
The Ilya off the side too. We are low ground looking at high ground, guys. It's not a good
Yeah.
position.
Let's kill this hunchback and get back up there.
Deploying incoming missile.
Enemy UAV down. Hotel Warhawk. It's primary. His CT is open.
Fuel at
Switch to Kilo.
25%. Fuel at 0%.
Coming around.
His side is open. He's got to have an XL on that thing.
Hotel's down.
Target destroyed.
Charlie Hellbringer.
Yeah, if you take down the Hellbringer and shoot, that's not
New
alarm.
target acquired. New target acquired. New target acquired. Left arm critical damage.
Atlas behind us, the other side of the dropship.
New target
Got Charlie
acquired.
Hellbringer as well.
Target destroyed. New target
Lima.
acquired.
Oh, you shouldn't have brought LRMs, friend.
Target destroyed.
He's down.
Yeah, I got way more LRMs than him.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of sucked it up that match. I got my butt whooped right at the beginning and had to play defensively for the rest of the match.
Yeah, I think Bombadil does a better job of staying alive than we do in a protector sense.
Nah. I only do a good
Yeah.
job staying alive. That's totally team dependent. So thank you guys.
No,
It's too bad you're clamors, but yeah. Good job.
It's okay. Nobody's perfect, right?
Well, one of us is going to be a crabber.
That's right.
Yeah, it's true. Like he's been wanting to have crabs now for some time.
I mean,
Can't live
I'm
without
never
them.
gonna get a stone rhino, so it's the thing that's gonna be closest to it. I gotta take what I can get, man.
All right, I'll let you have that.
Right?
We could see the the Annihilator.
Mm.
Oh, the Annihilator. That would be great.
That was
The urban mech of
always
assaults.
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know. The Direwolf seems like it can do much of that the Annihilator can now.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I always hated going up against an Annihilator in what was it MechWarrior 3?
3.
Yes.
I think it was 3.
It was the big mech in 3.
Seemed like we always lost legs instantly to 3, and then you had that funky limp.
God, I don't know what mech to take.
Greetings, Phil.
Oh, what's up, Phil?
Hey Phil, how you doing?
Good.
So we
Just,
have-
uploading the gargoyle sneak peek footage. It's process. Yeah, it's a pain. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So are you
I-
going to
I
join
told
us
him
as
you were working on
another
it.
super secret guest?
Bit-
Or are
bit
you
of
just
secret.
coming to say hello? Well, okay, no, it's not actually a secret.
Not as of 20 seconds ago.
Sans has a habit of letting the cats out of the bag pretty early, I think.
Seriously.
Actually, I don't
Sorry,
even
I'm
put
just
them
so
in the
excited,
bag.
I can't-
He just,
I can't
just
do
didn't
it.
even bother with that stuff.
It's alright. Phil, are you joining us for this drop, or are you chilling?
No, I have to wait till this done uploading, and then I can join you guys.
Sweet.
But I can chime in if you guys have any.
Cool.
Chime away.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump on up to our next topic here, and this one's got a little bit more information that we again just got. And I know we've kind of harped on this for a lot, but it is one of the biggest balancing things to happen to the game since the clan release, which is Intersphere quirk balancing. And
Quirks.
yeah, this is our what is it, 1 month, something like that. Coming back to the topic and reevaluating it and kind of deciding which we felt really worked and did what they were intended to do, and which we felt didn't. So,
Now, how much, being clanners, as you guys are, how much do you guys play your Intersphere mechs?
Quite
Ghost
often.
and I play them fairly frequently. I cannot speak for everyone else in our unit, but I personally am an enthusiast of battle mechs in general. I wear clan colors, but I don't discriminate as far as the battle mechs go. It's more an ideology thing.
Well,
See-
to be aware of your enemy, you have to be up to date on their performance potential.
Well, and for me, I'm 100% Intersphere, but I pilot my clan mechs because I've salvaged them on the battlefield, so I'm perfectly comfortable jumping in
Yeah.
my salvaged Timberwolf.
Well, for me, I guess it would be more of a hobby, like junk collecting.
I would half agree with that.
So what do you think of the quirks?
I love 'em,
I
love
guess the big question is, are they working as intended? And I'm going to go with a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B answer. I think that there are some quirks that did exactly what they were supposed to do and are great. I think there are a couple of quirks that I were either a bit nonsensical or didn't quite go far enough. But all in all, I think that it's done a great job in
Reactor
improving
online.
the balance between
Sensors
the Intersphere and the
online.
clans.
Weapons
I mean,
online.
yes, the clan mechs are still pretty dominant
All
if we're talking about the
systems
big three, but all in all, I think that the Innistrad mechs hold their ground a little bit better than they did before the Quirk Pass came out.
Well,
Especially mechs like the Awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
it just so happens that it's perfect timing with Phil showing up. If you have any questions about the upcoming changes to the quirks, the next pass, etc., Phil is the person. It's like a Wikipedia with him. So
So you're
ask
passing
your
on
quirk
everything to him.
questions. Yes, absolutely. So I can concentrate on killing.
I think I'm out here by myself. I don't like
Yeah.
that.
He was.
Apparently, the rest of our team wants to go tunnel.
It's fine.
It's not fine, but we're gonna go with it anyway.
It's fine because if we do go off by ourselves, we will probably die horrendously. Where at least this
I know,
makes us look
that's
like
what
we're
I'm
playing
saying.
as a team. You know what I'm saying?
It's not fine, but we'll abide.
Sans, it's not all about you. Come on now.
I can't say that phase 2 of the quirks are going to change a lot of maybe what you have in the doesn't make sense category or whatever you called that.
Yeah, there are only one or two, to be fair, that really didn't strike me as with a lot of sense in the decisions. The Ilya Muromets is probably the worst offender there, but there were one or two that the quirks didn't quite seem to match what the perceived role for the mech was. But yeah, and I did get a chance to look at the updated document that got linked, the PDF. So I saw that they toned a couple of them down. Like I saw that the Thunderwub and the Firestarter A, or as I like to call it, the little demon from hell,
Target
both
acquired.
are getting mild heat generation nerfs to their quirks, which I actually kind of think is a shame, but I think they're still going to perform great even with that small tweak. But yeah. So
Push it up, Tyson.
There is a
I
Warhawk
guess-
on the ledge.
I guess my most curious, I'm most curious about the tanks of the Innistrad, which I would say are the Atlas and the Orion. I
Ghost,
felt
there's
like
a Warhawk on the ledge along your left.
the
New
Atlas's
target
quirks
acquired.
really didn't do much to help it perform its battlefield role, and the Orion's quirks made very little sense to me in general. I was just curious what kind of pass those
New
two mechs
target
were getting
acquired.
compared to what they got on the first wave.
Well, I can tell you, so the changes that you're seeing that'll be coming tomorrow,
Airstrike
those are
online.
just parts. Like, I think it's about a third of the changes coming, and that's technically, it's called Pass 2. So
Okay.
the initial was Pass 1, and this is Pass 2.
What is that behind us, Tyson?
Right behind us.
Touch back on
Yep.
what you're talking about. You asked about the Meromets. That's been adjusted and changed. But I think what you have to do is just look at what is the point of the quirk system.
Holy.
Right.
It's not supposed to balance clan mechs 1-to-1. It's
Getting
basically
a lot of almost hits.
it's supposed to look at the IS mechs and performing against and compared to other IS mechs and the performance level. But also, it's just to take it a step further and say the
New
tabletop
target
rules
acquired.
fall short
Target
because
destroyed.
and it could be the amount of hard
Airstrike
points.
online.
One, those are created by BGI. Two,
Target
it could be aesthetics. That's one thing the tabletop never has to attribute
New
for,
target
whereas
acquired.
you have to do. But also what you were talking about, perceived role. So
New
therein
target
lies the
acquired.
issues because what players do with their mech, for instance, prior to the quirk,
Target destroyed.
is fair game because there is no roles clearly distinguished as far as weapons or movement or any of that type of thing applied to it. So,
Fuel at 25%.
for instance, you
Fuel
mentioned
at
the Orion. Now,
0%.
a lot of people are saying, well, why doesn't this one do ACs? Because it
Fuel at
can do
25%.
Now, the thing what you have to look at is there's a few things.
Airstrike
One, on Pass 2,
activated.
you're going to notice a lot of the
Target
mechs got
acquired.
a
New target
pass as
acquired.
far as more towards their stock loadouts, if possible, so to promote that stock loadout. And or
Right.
promote, basically its role. So you'll notice, like,
New target acquired.
Centurion 9AL, largely since still large pulse. One, it makes sense too just from the lore standpoint, because it doesn't come with large pulse. Large pulse are
target
lost tech,
acquired.
and if you still want to utilize it, you
Critical
still can.
damage.
Stuff like the
New target
Hunchback
acquired.
4J dropping the large and just going straight to energy generic buffs. So you'll see that instead of a lot of weapon
Target
specifics, some of
destroyed.
the dropped combos, if you look at the dragons, the Dragon 1C is all generic. On one end, it still has the AC5s, and it sort of works because it comes stock with AC5s. when you look at the loadout, it just sort of works, and then if you look at the other ones, it's as well. So the Orions didn't make it in past 2, or they did, but just not in coming for the patch.
Right,
So,
right.
You know, as far as like mechs that can start, I think it was a fair assessment of someone saying, why do some mechs get bonuses towards their stock loadouts, and why are some just made up? So what you'll notice is on past 2, for the most part, with stock perks. So like if a mech was the Centurion 90L, for example, got large pulse and medium pulse bonuses. Well, someone would argue, like, well, what the hell comes with the large laser and mediums? Like, why would you give it something completely else? So that makes sense. But like on a mech that is indicated to be where it has 2 mediums and a flamer, you have to look at the 2A has 6 energy and it runs 6 mediums, so it can't compete against that. If you do the whole, you know, medium ballistic, that's what the 3M is doing. You see what I'm saying? Like, some of them you just have to say, okay, well, what can it do that the other ones can't?
Target acquired.
But
And how do we
5SS,
make it more unique in that role?
Yeah, especially when there's 4 other mechs that are pretty much doing the same thing. If
Right,
you,
right.
The fire starters are a prime example. If you notice the changes, so they got a slight nerf as far as their heat management. It's because the things just run around willy-nilly and they don't have to worry about heat. They're still going to be dangerous with that alpha, right? And that's fine. But then you'll notice like the one with the small laser changed and the one with the ER large lasers changed. And so one's getting a medium pulse, which none of the others do, and one's just getting generic. So, you know, it's just some of these, unfortunately, the difference between something being really good and really bad is it could just be the amount of weapons it has on its arms,
right,
or left and right torso, or CT. And if that's the only difference between like the layouts, how do you make it any different now?
Right.
This is only past 2. It's not phase 2. Phase 2 is what's going to be coming later, which is like movement. You know, hopefully stuff that affects sensors and stuff like that. Weapon families that includes. Like I can give, you know, something, a large laser or large, and it affects large lasers, large pulse, you know, medium laser, it affects medium and medium pulse. Now you can imagine, instead of a generic missile boost and it's a support mech, instead of generic, you could give it an LRM family. Or it's supposed to be a short range SRM, like the Kintaro, the Golden Boy. It could get a SRM family. It also brings in the fact of you could give an AC family quirk, so it only affects AC, so that doesn't affect GAUSS, LB, or UAC. And so I think what you're going to see, and you sort of see with the Dragon, is there's a combination of weapon specific and generalized. And then if you were to take it a step further, the Orion is probably the biggest overhaul one across the board, but you guys don't get to see it yet. But anyways, hopefully that answers sort of your question. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Oddmajo has another question here. If I'm pretty sure, but it hasn't been asked, which is I'm reading this verbatim. There has been a lot of talk about the quirk penalties that mechs with ECM and jump jets received, with both moving a tier list up and losing a quirk for that slot. Is this going to remain the same, or will it be looked at again?
No, it's already been sort of. It's on past 2. Just like how the mechs were looked at from their stock performance, they were also looked at like, is ECM and is jump jets as relevant as it used to be? And the fact of the matter, no. Now, the original rules to the quirks, right, is if it's a tier 5 mech and it doesn't have jump jets, it doesn't have ECM, it gets 5 quirks, right? Well, what you quickly realize is it's good for a first pass, but then there's holes in it. And what that means is not all quirks are equal. Like cooldown is extremely powerful, right? Velocity is pretty powerful, depending. Duration is pretty powerful, but range on missiles not so much without cooldown. But missiles with velocity increase or missiles with a decrease or increase, I mean, you can imagine the difference there. So you'll notice that a lot of the past 2 laser duration was increased, because that's going to help IS mechs for the most part. And also, you're not buffing the DPS potential. You're not buffing the alpha potential, right? You're just basically saying is you're able to fire and get your shot off, which means less time potentially you have to expose yourself, which a lot of IS mechs have issues with. So
It front loads more of the damage.
Mhm.
look at the Hunchback 4SP. If you haven't taken that out, I'd recommend dropping in it because it has substantial duration buffs to the medium lasers. So it pretty much puts it in the same duration as like a medium pulse. So, and then also look at not all ballistics or not all like rain or cooldown on 2 ballistics on a locust is not equal. Like you could give it range of 50% and it's only going to affect really 2 machine guns. Is that really an issue? And then that's not even increasing the cone of fire per se, right? So, and again, that's something phase 2 is going to be introducing is a lot of these small little, quirks that can help improve that aren't just, duration, cooldown, range, velocity, stuff like that. But so no, that the whole pass 2, when I sat down with Russ and talked about all this, is looking at it more of the less of nothing was counted. Like you'll see some mechs got more than 5 quirks now, and that's because the reality is some of them need it. If you were to actually do a tier system based on especially stock mechs, and like for instance the BJ1 is supposed to be a support long range AC2 AC5, right, for the most mech, but it suffers from a few things. It suffers from the fact that the standard AC2s, if you just left AC2, it wouldn't be worth taking, right? That's why everyone takes AC20 instead. Well then, what can the AC2 and how much do you have to buff it so that you're able to put enough rounds on target, suppression fire and stuff, so it got a buff.
Right.
But I still think that the issue remains, and this is where I'm hoping that the family sort of comes in, is the fact of if you gave the BJ1 and AC2, let's say whatever it's at right now, 25% cooldown, right? And you don't have cooldown mods, right? So because issues start happening with weapons that fire that quick. So anyways, it has a 25%. Well, the only issue right now is because the rules are, it splits 50-50. That would also mean, 12.5, or let's just say, metaphorically speaking, 25% towards an AC20. Well, that's undesirable, like behavior in the system. Well, what if you did 25% AC2 cooldown, but then you did AC family range velocity? So you can still take an AC20 and it's going to affect the range and velocity and stuff like that, but you're not getting the benefit of the 25%. So I think that's the only really way you're really going to make like the BJ1 shine, or you also give it crit seeking capability with just AC2s. So once it starts hitting internal, it's going to tear stuff up, and little stuff like that. So it's a crit seeker, it's a long range support, high suppression, mech. But I mean, these are things that BattleTech never did, right? I mean,
Yeah.
look at the Jaeger 6A. It comes with 1 ton of AC2. Like, that's laughable, right? Like, but those are the type of things I think that quirks just sort of, again, you have to look at what is the mech supposed to be like in that role, what do we want it to be used for, and then, I think there is something to be said as what are players doing with it, but also, I think there has to be restraint in that, because
New target
the players are going to min-max and find what's best as is.
Right.
So are you just buffing what's even best as is? Like, I guess it goes both ways. But yeah, the ECM and jump jets, I think it's fair. If you look at past 2, you'll notice that it's not as much of an issue. And the whole limitation of how many quirks mech got, that was sort of tossed out. Not tossed out, it's still there, but it's just the reality of it is the weight of certain quirks is different. And you have to be realistic on what that's like. I mean, Spider, what is it, 5k, 2 energy? I mean, like, really? Like, what you can buff that tremendously, and it's still going to be relatively a lackluster, right? Like, nothing you can do will probably ever really do that, except maybe maneuverability, like out the wazoo. I don't know.
Sorry, we're into shit here. It's just a little distracted as well.
New target acquired.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty hopeful for it.
New target acquired.
When is you said what are you calling this? Pass to? When
Yeah,
when
this is
Pass 2 of phase 1.
right.
Target destroyed.
Well, that
New
pass
target
2 of phase
acquired.
1 is tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Now, you're saying this is going to be when they're adding on maneuverability perks and things like that.
Phase 2.
Phase 2. Now, is there any sort of particular time frame they're looking for that to be done, or is that kind of a we'll get it done when we get it done?
It'll be after the new year. So I mean, there's staff already starting to go on vacation. So, you know,
Yeah,
early.
there's going to be people out of the office. Nobody's going to be in there for 2-3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, after Community Warfare has come out, we've actually seen what some of the balance changes affect Community Warfare, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, coming back from into the new year, probably what you're going to see happening the most will be balanced warfare. We'll all be playing it and figure out what needs to be tweaked, whatever, and then just more passes on and phases on the inner quirks. Those will be the first things probably addressed, and then it'll get into some really interesting things. You know, we'll have the opportunity because basically all the major pillars have been achieved at that point. To the community at large to be able to affect essentially the direction of the development. That's something Russ has said, quite a few times. It's up to us what we want in the game.
I think what has to be done with the quirks is the introduction of there should be pros and there should be cons. Like right now, all the IS mechs are getting just strict pros, but what if we were to say, hey, that Thunderbolt 5 SS, it is probably, even with these changes, by the way, it's still going to be a freaking knife.
Yeah,
That really hasn't changed. And it also got a buff, too. Like, five hit points in the left arm torso. A lot of people aren't even talking about that. I mean, it's not a whole lot, but I mean, that's still a buff. But just for the fact of heat management on the 5 SS, the fire starter, the Cicada 2-way, any mech that got like large pulls, cooldown, and heat, again, those disproportionate, not equal. And especially when you can take 315, what is it, 18 double heat sinks, and, anyways, I guess there's still going to be dangerous, but what happens if you look at that just from the eyes of, it is the best mech, but it's supposed to be sort of a skirmisher, so okay, what if movement?
I'm on the edge of my seat with this match, man.
Seriously?
Holy shit.
Any artillery can kill you.
What happens if you introduce negative quirks or positive based on movement, based on particular, the role it's supposed to be in? Is there multiple roles? Is there sub roles? Is there subcategories, stuff like that? Just because it's a skirmisher as far as its offensive capabilities, what is it supposed to be as far as
Kill the
potential,
Mad Dog!
information warfare and stuff like that?
Hey, speaking of the Mad Dog, Phil, do you know anything about the hitbox changes? I haven't experienced them myself. Do you know any details?
No, I would assume it's to where the CT is taking a little bit more damage. I'm assuming that's what it'd be. Because
That's what they didn't want it to be.
well, it would have to be. Like it's either that or that.
I want the air next to me, like the air under my armpits, to take more damage. That would work.
I love the Mad Dog. I just think people try to do stuff with it that it's supposed to. I mean, especially because it's weight and because the hitboxes, you're not supposed to be at the forefront. You're behind your friendlies, and I think it excels in LRM support. Close range LRM support. I just think people are like when I see like ER peeps and stuff, I'm like,
Oh yeah, seriously.
The energy points on that mech are horrible. Like I hit the deck so much. Like you can have if it's below horizontal line of sight, you're gonna hit the dirt on it. So I just think here's the issue with the Mad Dog, Timberwolves. That's when you look at community warfare, that is the issue with all of the clan heavies. Is the Timberwolf will be the dominant mech. It's 75 tons. Even if you had it to where you equip a left or right torso S to get the jump jets and it equips 5 tons, it would still be like don't even take jump jets and it's still it's one hell of a mech. So that's where the issue that Mad Dog is going to run into as far as use in community warfare is the Timberwolf just does it and does it better. It does it better than the Summoner, it does it better than the Hellbringer. The only thing it has going for it right now is you can do a right side tank on it, and it has ECM cover. I think you may see a few teams take one of those, but then they don't have to take the Kit Fox. They'll take the Adder, or potentially the Kit Fox too, because it has jump jets and it has ECM, so it's, you know, the best land light right now, if they have to take a light.
I have feelings invested into that mech.
I agree. Someone jumped into a heavy.
Just temporarily.
Oh, I can move
Okay.
out. You guys want me to move to another?
No, I'm removing some PPCs from my deck.
Okay.
So as far as the Mad Dog's hitboxes are concerned, I agree that it is definitely not supposed to be a frontline mech as far as out and tanking.
Oh, here we go.
Hey. Give me a chance here. But at the same time, like I said, I didn't necessarily think that they should be buffed, but not really nerfed either. I felt like it can take a punishing, but at the same time, you can neuter it pretty fast.
Well,
So,
the damage is going somewhere, so it's not like it's just
Right.
magically going away. I mean, the issue with the Mad Dog inherently is the aesthetics of it. It's got a jutting CT, and so unless the CT got a huge internal structure buff and you've kept the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now, you just go for the left-right torso. But another point too, going back, you mentioned the Atlas and how tank mechs and stuff like that. It's interesting because on our last podcast we were talking about time to kill, and you know, Jaeger did make a good point. He said, you have 1-on-1s or 2v2s, time to kill really isn't that bad.
Oh, not
You know,
at all.
especially 1-on-1. So you know, and that's a valid point, except when you get to like obviously dire wolves and you know the certain things that do what they do really well. But it's when you have 4 or plus mechs shooting you, like there's nothing like there's you know there you're gonna die. Like even if you added the survivability factors of like crits and a huge internal structure buff and HP for you know equipment and you know all that, if you're getting shot by 8 mechs, 5 mechs, you're it doesn't matter what.
No,
You're
absolutely.
gonna be hurting, right? So
Yeah. Now, going back to you were talking about the Thunderbolt.
Mhm.
I've always found this kind of interesting about your quirk system is the way you guys balance it out. Is that the Thunderbolt never was originally like medium pulse lasers was kind of fun with it, but never was the thing until you guys designed the quirk system around the medium pulse lasers. Now,
Reactor.
that's
online.
just.
Sensors
Did you guys just
online.
decide that it should have
Weapons
medium pulse
online.
lasers, or
All
yeah, what was the
systems
thought
online.
process behind that decision, I wonder?
like I know you were saying some mechs, you know, you just go with what you know they naturally should be, or what you think might need a buff, and like why do you think a Thunderbolt would need like medium pulse lasers as opposed to something else? I guess maybe you're not the one
Acquired.
to ask about
New
that. I
target
don't know if
acquired.
you do the actual.
Phil
Big
is
call.
more than I am.
well, when you look at it again, it's going back to what do they all do and do they do anything different. The nice thing with the Thunderbolts is you do have a wide variety of. I mean, you've got ones that are using large and mediums and missiles. You have some that are doing,
New target
peeps and the air
acquired.
peeps. Again, I think that comes down to just looking at if you were to do well with the 5SS.
Airstrike
I think this is one of those
online.
things where it comes with a PPC and it comes with 3 mediums, an SRM and a flamer. I mean, realistically, flamers, there's nothing to. I mean, flamers
they're
are
pointless.
useless right now. Yeah. So until that gets redone, and then even Paul has said they're useless, and it just needs to be redone. I think it was just more along the lines of if you're looking at the Thunderbolts, it was to make it a little slightly different. But I can also see where someone might argue, again, this is where Pass 2 comes along, and for the most part, looks at, can we promote sort of the stock role it's supposed to have, i.e., some people are already chiming in about the Centurion 9A, right? It's got a slight nerf as far as it's not getting SRM4 specifics, but now it's getting generic, and then it's also getting a nice buff on the AC10. Now someone could say, well,
Let's
why
push
even
these guys
bother?
before our teammates go down.
And I think that's where, someone could argue, well, the 5SS comes with the peeps and mediums. Why aren't you guys doing something with those wide medium pulls? And I think that's a fair critique. It's just it's one of those things where just like Cicada 2B, I think what else is different? What can you make it different than the other ones that the other ones don't already do? I mean,
Target destroyed. New target
Push out.
acquired.
Keep pushing.
Echo Victor. Get that side torso. Or CT.
Target destroyed.
No.
We could not save you. We're sorry, Bombadil, we failed you.
Yeah,
Never
I
forget.
got too far.
Target acquired.
Hashtag never forget.
I really hate YouTube sometimes.
New target acquired.
Do you have a slow upload, or it just takes a lot of time to convert it?
It's still processing now. It's almost done. It's done uploading, but I'm having to wait for the 60 FPS. So I've
Target
switched
acquired.
Oh,
over.
hello. They're pushing Delta 4.
Switched over. I'm doing 60 FPS videos from here on out. Well, it takes a little bit longer to
nice.
process. So
Target acquired. New target acquired.
India Atlas is pushing over. Let's keep pushing around right and flank them. We'll keep them in the Caldera, heat them up.
It's interesting though. I mean,
New
even
target
with Pass
acquired.
1, I think the quirk system too is there's multiple layers here. One, it's trying to change player behavior, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
there's a few more
Also
things.
critical
It's
damage.
actually giving a mech a purpose, and it's basically saying you can still use it how you want it, but if you use it this way,
At
it
25%.
potentially may
because of it.
yeah, it may potentially perform
New
better.
target
You may
acquired.
perform better. Now, some people would say, and I know this is a big critique of it, is,
acquired.
oh well, it should always be generalized. Well, I disagree. I think
I do
some
too.
mechs
25%.
do well with weapon
New
specific,
target
and I
acquired.
think some mechs do well with the combination, and some mechs will do well with all.
There are mechs that are meant to be basically a jack of all trades, and there are mechs that are meant to be role specific. And I think that's one of the coolest things about BattleTech and Warrior Universe and mechs. And so I think this quirk system is really taking advantage of that.
Target destroyed.
And then it's also trying to look at, well, what are the inefficiencies of the current game? Like, there was no actual logical
Target
and/or
acquired.
gameplay implications for a hunchback having a hunch.
New
All it
target
was is
acquired.
it looked cool in the artwork, but it's a huge detriment to gameplay. So, okay, well, let's create a system that can move past what just the tabletop
25%.
offers. Same thing with the hardpoints. Same thing with hardpoints.
Target
The number of
destroyed.
hardpoints. Just because the
New
hunchback
target acquired.
4G comes with 3 ballistics, and this is where I would argue is
At 25%.
it doesn't necessarily mean you should be able to. It's supposed to be an AC-20 Todine that the most. It's known to be the most feared AC-20 mech out there. Well, and I think it's actually done that.
Target
I think
destroyed.
right now the
Okay.
Hunchback 4G is just.
4G is
Yeah,
awesome.
I'll admit that the 4G has probably been one of the most affected by the quirk pass. Back in before the quirks, I didn't fear a 4G. I would fight a 4G in any mech.
Just shoot
And
the hunch.
yeah, and now I definitely think twice about it. They're not to be underestimated.
Well, I definitely carried you guys that much.
No,
Yeah,
well, that
I'm
happens.
sorry for
Couldn't have done it
having-
without you.
It must be prac baking work there that you're doing for us.
Yes, definitely.
And I will say, out of all of it, is the toughest thing I think Russ and PGI face with the quirk system is everyone has an opinion. Every single
Absolutely, yeah.
person believes, in their idea, and that this is how the mech should be. I mean, and that's what's tough is, like, you have very experienced players say the quirk should be designed based around how the mech potentially can be, not necessarily what it's supposed to be stock or what role in the BattleTech universe it's supposed to fulfill. It should be based on what it actually does, so on the amount of hard points and blah blah blah. Well, I agree, but I disagree, because what's the point of having an awesome 8Q if it's not about PPCs? Like, it's always supposed to, and that's where it,
Right.
So, the BattleTech, nerd in me says, well, some of these mechs are supposed to be, the Yenlo is supposed to be known for this really high caliber AC-20, right? It's supposed to be this, like, Luxor, just ridiculous OP, but it's very
Back
situational.
when MWO was first announced, we used to, when we first started the podcast, we would talk about what we wanted the game to be. We were just speculating, dreaming, etc. Before any of the details were out. And one of the things that we always wanted was that, the marketplace within the BattleTech universe. There's so many different manufacturers of different weapons, and those weapons have
Right.
different effects and strengths and weaknesses. And this quirk system is almost a way to bring that into the game without actually having that kind of a market and the different types of weapons,
Right. I
Right.
agree.
Instead of having to get rid of all your General Motors manufactured stuff because they're going to recall
Yeah.
it soon.
Seatbelt's not working again.
Exactly. Phil, are you going to join us for any drops? Or
If YouTube behaves.
I'm still working.
I'm
It's all right.
behaving.
Gotta.
All right, we'll go ahead and drop this time.
Yeah.
See if we can get you in on the last drop.
I do have one little request, and this is an opinion. So
Is it an
shoot me out,
Phil.
Phil.
An
Or a
opinion
request?
Yeah, I'm
Opinion
confused.
request.
Opinionated request. Wow,
refuse
that's a new one for
request.
NGNG.
And you might the Yellow Wing, in its revised format, didn't have a Gauss rifle with like a 300 XL. How come there's no buffs to that?
No.
I know nobody
There are
runs it, but it would be
buffs.
kind of cool.
There
The
are
yellow-
buffs. There's a general ballistic buff.
The Yenlo Wang in the time frame of MWO
Yeah, when did it
actually
get
has an
out?
AC-20. The Yenlo Wang, when Kai or Liao saves.
Oh, you're talking about
Victor's
the next
ass,
generation.
and it
Forget
gets
that.
retrofitted with triple strength myomer muscle fiber and Gauss rifle and some medium pulse, and he also saves Victor's ass using it, and they think.
So
he's
you got to
dead when he
wait for
crashes
later
over.
in the timeline, man.
Yeah, so I guess
yeah.
that's what I'm saying is it also gets a buff if you do put a Gauss rifle on it, because it still has the generic 50-50 split, so your Gauss would actually perform better. And then you got to think, out of all this being said, any cooldown, everyone has cooldown mods. I don't know if anybody noticed the K2 changes. Did anybody else notice? It doesn't have
With the
cooldown.
PPC change now?
Well, it doesn't have ballistic cooldown anymore. It
Yeah.
has ballistic range. Now, someone's going to probably flip out, but there's a few reasons I think that a lot of people have argued about the K2. One, the K2 is never supposed to have been a heavy ballistics platform, right? But it does have it, and inside the rules, well, it's promoting mission. It's promoting if you take AC 20s or 10s, it's gonna. But you also still can, like my K2 setup, dual 10s and 4 mediums. I'm able to still take 12.5% cooldown on my, AC 10s. That's still good, So,
Right.
I would say the biggest thing with the quirks too is they have a
Sensors
potentially a
online.
large sweeping
Weapons
effect on the
online.
game, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think chassis
All systems
diversity,
nominal.
build diversity. Some people are saying, "Oh, well, it's just going to limit builds." And actually, no. I've seen multiple people step outside the box. Now, I will say I do cringe when I see a 4G have an LB10X. Just please don't do that.
Yeah.
But
There's only one. No, okay, I take it back. 2 mechs that are allowed to run the LB10, the quirks, and that is a variant of Orion and a variant of Centurion. If you're running it on anything else, you should put a different
That set
autocannon.
with the LB10 is pretty fun.
I actually, Phil, I saw your video of that and went out and bought one. I actually bought the auto shotgun Centurion because
I
of
love it.
your video.
I
See,
just think it's fun.
What we're talking about right there, right here, is why I love the quirk system, because it totally brought back certain mechs that I hadn't been playing for a long time and weapon systems. I mean, it's like,
Warning,
I don't know, it was just a,
Like even
Oh,
if
yeah.
you,
Perfect.
even if someone says, well, you should have buff DPS or heat or whatever. Well, what can you do right now to make the LB10 just by itself stock worth anything? Especially, what happens is a lot of the medium mechs suffer because they're trying to do. They're trying to do a heavy ballistic, laser, missile. They're trying to do 3 things at once. Well, they're going to underperform. That's why you see your meta builds usually revolve around boating, right? 7 medium poles, laser bomber builds, dual 20s. I mean, you always see a combination. It's very rare to see a straight setup used where it's only 1 or 2, or I would say probably never 3 weapon systems, where it's usually 2, if not 1. Because it's easy to get range of just 1 weapon system.
Yep.
Target acquired. Airstrike. Warning, incoming missile.
I agree.
Causing distraction, moving up.
Warning, incoming missile.
Echo
Airstrike
Atlas. Oh god, that went
online.
wide.
Markville previews almost ready.
I got SKs for a second.
Airstrike.
Unfortunately.
Something up in the middle of Citadel
You
as
can
well.
see me. I'm being LRM'd by somebody. He's got a lock from somewhere.
New
Sorry, just
Oh,
target
that hurt.
acquired.
He's got a lock on me! He's got a lock on me!
Airstrike. online. Airstrike activated.
Yeah.
New target
I never
acquired.
understood that video. I guess it was mostly because of the limitations of the graphical system at the time. But man, those battle mechs were fragile. Like, he gets hit by 1 PBC and that sucker just like fucking
Yeah, talk
pops.
about time to kill, huh?
He's just like
Warning,
gone.
incoming missile.
Not to mention, they don't even speak actual clan. It's so funny.
Right?
Yeah.
Warning, incoming missile.
Like, that's not how they talk.
Yeah.
Or that
Oh, that was a
is
shit
not.
match.
Warning, incoming missile.
Warhawk in the city. Keep on dead before.
Man, we are surrounded here.
Yeah, Himalaya, I agree. Goldberry is not giving me any tonight. My performance is
Warning,
lacking.
incoming missile.
Alright, we've got a pair flanking us from behind.
Warning, incoming missile.
Or at least trying to.
And I just lost like every single one of my weapons almost. But it can.
Seems sense. Let's push back left then. Push back on him.
Both.
I'm getting hit by bad lag
He's
spikes
dead.
this round.
Yeah, me too. That's
That
why I
would kill
died.
me anyway.
Anything other than that.
0%. Fuel at 0%.
I am just fucking
New target
overzealous here.
acquired.
Hey, let him get away, man.
Oh, I didn't let him get away. He didn't get away. What are you talking about?
Target
There he is.
destroyed.
No!
Stolen.
He was mine.
Nope. You let him get
That's
away, man.
not what the score
Free blood.
says.
I'm just like under the under the garage
25%.
there, and I just see a medium laser just lance down through the Nova and just kill it. What the heck just hit me?
Target acquired.
Echo.
Atlas.
Yep, I'm gonna punish him for that.
Acquired. Right arm critical damage.
Getting messed up here.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Warning, incoming missile.
He's down.
New target acquired.
We gotta push deeper into Delta 4.
Yeah.
There's a Mad Dog still over there and a Warhawk.
Target destroyed.
Warhawk's down.
New target acquired. Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Nice. Man, that was chaotic for a second.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
it was
carrying
crazy.
me, guys. Send your chiropractic bills to NGNG.
Bill 2.
I guess what's the conversion rate for Kerensky's right now?
I believe it's 1 direwolf for every 12 atlases.
Ooh, this got this sneak peek up. I see.
Yeah,
Oh
check
my
that out
god,
now.
the paint on that mech.
Yeah, Gargoyle is definitely shinier than the previous clan mechs.
I think it's one of those mechs that only a mother could love.
It looks like I always felt like it looked like a football player. With the big shoulders and the helmet-like head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
Sweet.
I still like it though. Still looks pretty intimidating.
I
think
think a
it's-
measure. Go ahead, Phil.
I was gonna say, I think it's gonna suffer, and the main reason I think it's gonna suffer is because of the Timberwolf. It's got less payload space than the Stormcrow can do, and
Phil, I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you want to invite?
oh, hold on, I gotta load up the client. But yeah, I think it's gonna suffer just because Timberwolf has weight and tonnage and different hard points at different locations. It is fast, but it's just as fast as a Timberwolf. So again, I think it's just one of those things where I think it'll be used. I just don't think it'll be the new meta. I don't think a lot
Yeah.
of people are. I mean, it does have nice armor when you buff it up, but then if you're buffing it up, you just don't have a lot of tonnage as well. So
Well, it does something that the clans haven't had, which is a brawl and assault. Because the Warhawk, is a pretty good brawler, but it suffers from giant side torsos, so people just
Yeah.
kill it easily, and the direwolf is slow.
but you're
So-
gonna be limited to like a UAC 10 and like 4 medium pulse, and like that's it, or an LB 20 and like 4 mediums. I mean, it's gonna be.
If you're good with maneuverability, if you can play to that style, then maybe it can perform. But yeah, it's basically its arsenal is limited, so you've got to really play to its strength, which is speed.
I think its strength is going to be who you are moving with, not necessarily so much
Yeah.
in itself. So it's meant to rush brawl with Timberwolves, with Hellbringers, and I think that it can perform that role and maybe even tank a bit, bring some laser vomit or something, and I think it'll still be something, a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield if it's used
Wait.
correctly, as you said.
Well,
Okay,
there's
I'm.
something to be said about survivability too. Like
Yes.
be able to, it's sort of like the ice fair. It can hold down a target that normally, a lighter, probably wouldn't want to do, So there is staying power there, but I don't know. I don't know if it'll be end all be all.
It could be a good candidate for some quirks.
I don't know if it will compete with the Direwolf in terms of fire down range, or well, it certainly won't. But I think there is room for a niche battlefield role for it. Hopefully, one that the community warfare invasion mode will support.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Phil, I gotta say, I really like the size chart comparison you threw below. That's pretty handy, just to see what
Yeah, it
it's
is.
going to be looking like versus other things. And I really like that you threw it basically something of everything next to it.
Well, I know some people, the whole that former squirrel releasing all that stuff, and the reality of it is people want to be able to see all that. So I said, well, screw it. Like, what do people want? All right, let's give it to them. I mean, might as well. I mean, if that's what they want, why not? So that's sort of try to include everything. So
Yeah, that's
Feels a good whore.
I try.
So Heimel pointed out Heimelginger and our Twitch pointed out a good point, which is how come the Gladiator instead of the Executioner? Or the Gargoyle instead of the Executioner, sorry.
Mask.
Period.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Until
Couldn't-
Mask is figured out one way or another, and they are looking at it and thinking of other creative ways to make it useful. But until it's figured out, that you're not going to see any Mask variants of anything.
Couldn't it have just gotten a speed
Yeah.
tweak?
That.
I think they
and
actually have said possibly. I think Russ said on the town hall that could be a possibility until.
Yeah.
It's just all going to be in the new year, you know. I mean, that's
Right.
too much focus has been going into other things for them to sit down and really tackle the Mask issue and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I also think it's kind of dangerous to throw a flat speed tweak to a 95-ton battle mech.
I agree.
It's-
It should be something that's toggleable or something like, like your jump jets. You hold it down and you watch your fuel deplete. Could even be something along those lines, but still, like you said, it's something that's needs to be thought through carefully and
Yeah,
properly.
I imagine the primary issue isn't so much mechs like the Executioner and more mechs like the
Fire Moth. Yeah. So what was the top speed? The Fire Moth mask
With
gauge,
mask,
like
it's
212.
116. It's
Mhm.
crazy fast.
I like the idea of just basically making it a general maneuverability buff. Start, stop, turning, everything.
Yeah.
Uphill.
Make it move like a mech a weight class lower.
Yeah, make it move like a heavy.
Yeah, essentially, maybe a little bit of a speed buff or whatever, but make it so that it does make it more maneuverable. But obviously, we can't have mechs that are going 200 and something.
Hmm.
I've heard that you guys are pretty much. I think this was from Carl a while back. That you guys are pretty much have approached the networking limit in Crisis Engine in terms of things going on and speed.
Well, we saw some of the issues early on, so yeah, I mean it's definitely pushing the edge of the envelope here. But since that time, the programmers and devs have learned a lot about working with the engine. So, honestly, I'm as interested to hear from them what they think they can tackle in 2015 as you guys are. There's a lot that can be done, and this is they're much further along in as far as using the engine than they were 3 years ago. So, 2015 could be for me as exciting a year as 2014 was with all the things that came into the game.
I think
Yeah.
it'll be even more so, simply because I
Yeah.
feel like the shackles have been taken off, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like you see the light now. I think that I don't know about you guys, but have been very impressed with a lot of the facets of PGI that have come forward over the past several months, and they've really made leaps and bounds.
Phil and I have always been fans of PGI since the very beginning. In fact, when we first started this, our first communication was with PGI. Think
Mhm.
about what happened. I mean, the bottom line is losing IGP. Talk about losing shackles. That's what freed PGI to develop the game the way they wanted to. And I totally 100% agree with you. It's been way better, much better second half of the year, even the entire year. The performance has been better. Reaching the target dates in many cases early, like tomorrow's patch. And so and I agree totally. Once this community warfare is out of the way, and not like phew, out of the way. I mean, it's going to be great. We're going to have another complete aspect to the game, community warfare. But then we do get to go back and touch on some of the other cool things, like maybe fixing some of the size of certain mechs, the aesthetics, so that they play a little bit better, polishing maps, adding more in-depth aspects to the gameplay, AI, all kinds of things that can
Sensors
happen in
online.
2015.
Weapons.
Well, you even touched
online.
on it earlier. I can't wait for them to bring logistics back in
All
because I think that's going to be.
systems
I think it's going to have to be kind of a major aspect of community warfare. And what planets do you want to take for what bonuses for ammo reduction in
25%.
cost, or internal structure repair, or things like that. I think that'll be a definite major facet that I can't wait for them to throw back in, because that'll make taking certain planets all of a sudden mean a whole lot more to that particular faction.
There's so much that can be done. I mean, it's just you know, and this isn't one of those games. It's eternally until the day it dies. Literally, it's in development. I mean, I love that kind of game. We're always
Personally,
gonna be seeing new stuff.
I am just hoping that we get a Solaris game mode sooner rather than later. I know it's a hope against hope, but I love
Nah,
Solaris.
man, there's been
in the old
internal
games.
talk a lot about Solaris. So
Yes.
yeah, it's. I mean, it's obvious how popular that would be.
Yeah.
We would be
Hellbringer,
fools not
Charlie
to
4.
make that happen.
Target acquired.
They are hard rushing.
We back up.
Yeah.
Target.
Yeah, let's get out of here before we get cut off.
Backing up.
Airstrike online.
But absolutely, I think I'm just itching to set up a clan stable. Like, let's see if we can't do it a little earlier than it happens in
New target
UAV check.
acquired.
Yep.
Warning, incoming missile.
Just take it down.
Warning, incoming
Down.
missile.
Yeah, it's
they're
down.
They pushed us into this.
Let's push that arch.
archway. I hate this place.
Airstrike activated.
Artillery.
Yeah, they're funneling themselves though, so that's good.
Yeah.
New target acquired.
Got the outlets coming out left flank.
New target acquired.
If you guys got arty strikes, now's the time.
New target
Ghost,
acquired.
what you got over there?
Got a catapult left flank, LRMs, a light, and the Atlas is poking out left
His
side.
leg.
Goodbye, Miss Lynx. You are about to die.
I blew the leg off in midair with the PPC.
UAV above us, UAV, take it down, please. B4. Use lasers. There you go.
It's down.
Target acquired.
Got a fire starter flanking it.
Pushing left.
Incoming missile.
I've been primary by an LRM mode.
Concentrate on the bigger targets, guys. Pop UAV if you have it.
Looking for bigger target.
Juliet,
New
leg.
target
Leg
acquired.
on Juliet. if you
Delta
see it.
Atlas is in the water. The
New
stream.
target acquired.
Let's push around and get him. CT on Delta Atlas.
Anybody got a UAV? Pop it.
Target destroyed.
He's down.
New target acquired.
A Stormcrow at CT going out the Delta 4. Oh, I just jerked my shot.
Fuel at 0%.
Hellbringer.
Target destroyed.
It's a rule, Alex. I didn't make the rules.
Juliet, leg.
Target
Go for his leg.
acquired.
That fire starter leg.
Hellbringer's down.
I'm gone.
Target
Roger.
acquired.
Good. Knock him in the back.
Target
I'll be on.
destroyed.
Who was hitting me?
Code press, guys.
Target
Yeah, let's push up.
acquired.
Charlie.
New
Mind
target
he's about neutered.
acquired.
Get the awesome, Lima. Ooh, I just nailed you, Phil. Oh, jeez. What else nailed you too?
Nice.
Oh.
New target acquired.
Enemy team can't take him out, but we can.
Target
Sorry.
destroyed.
Sorry, Phil.
I'm pretty sure it was a team effort.
That's twice.
Kill you.
I've been team killed twice today. Once on purpose. That I don't think was on purpose, but
At least it wasn't me. I'm thankful for that. I'd like to take a moment and thank him for being a meat shield.
that was 350,000 seatbelt match too.
All right, so do you want to do one more? We got time for it. It's up to our guests, Darren and Phil. What do you guys want to do? One more?
Sure.
Sure.
Uno más.
All right, Nunamas. I'd like to thank you both again for attending tonight. Really appreciate it. Definitely had a lot
Our
of fun.
pleasure, man. I enjoy listening to you guys, watching you guys as much as being on. So I'm really glad you guys are doing this.
Awesome. Thanks for the compliment.
I'm usually
Al?
in the audience if I can make it.
Yeah, so is it one of those things that you're laughing with us or at us? He just replies with yes. I see.
Yes.
Good reply. Tyson still here?
I am. I'm switching to my dinner really quick here.
All right. Well,
But back to Solaris. This game was built for Solaris. You know, I mean,
mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
did any of you guys play Living Legends?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
A
we all
little
did.
bit.
Yeah. And you know, it'd be nice to hopefully maybe hear some Duncan Fisher over in this game as well.
Oh yes.
Oh man, that would be great.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was the competitive nature of the game, and I mean, it's just Solaris needs to happen. Betting C-bills. I hope that you know.
I'm
that
just
gets
saying.
implemented.
It's not
I
like you're
don't
gonna
think.
It's not like you're gonna be winning any money there, Dave. Come on.
Oh, jeez.
No, there will be some kind of prize for last place.
I was gonna say
It's
at
still
least
an achievement.
it is tiered system, so there is that. I mean, you can go up against bots, I guess. You know, technically.
You know how much money I'm going to win when I beat you in the finals, bitch?
Mhm.
I think
We
I
can
think
all-
when
I'll
he
see. But it'll
We
happen.
can all have dreams.
No, I'll have somebody sabotage your mech or something. Something will work.
all he has to do is stand in front of teammates. I mean, that's apparently
Yeah.
that already works for him tonight.
Yeah, apparently.
I shoot you in the back. That's the most effective.
Do I have a bullseye, Darren?
Yes.
Seriously? Really?
I
Really?
had Paul implement that on all of your skins, a bullseye right in the center. If you've been wondering why you've been getting team killed lately.
It just is spray painted with PGI, NGNG, and this is still hit me here.
It's a piece of paper taped to your back. That's what it looks like.
Kick
Kill
me.
it
Kick
says.
me.
You only need a piece of paper with his name on it, stick it to his back, and get
Yeah.
him for the film.
Oh man, looking at these pictures of the
This
car
is-
roll, I like it.
This is weird. So I don't think I have caught shit from any of the other BearNet members all night. I'm kind of confused.
That's
It's
true.
been like directed towards Sean. This is unusual.
No.
unnatural.
A little bit towards Darren, a little bit towards Phil, and
They're giving us shit. What am I missing?
no.
Bring
No,
it.
we're just talking about that normal griefing.
Yeah.
You mad dog, bro?
I'm
Yeah, bro.
usually the target of said griefing.
Somebody has
But-
to keep him in his place. So I mean, we gotta do what we can.
You mad dog, bro?
Understood.
You know, I'm going to have to kill you now, Sans.
You are welcome to try.
Oh,
I think somebody else is gonna have the kick me sign on their back this match.
them's be Solaris words right there.
You and a Timberwolf, me and a Jenner.
Yeah, sure.
Even fight, even fight.
And the Timberwolf is powered down.
Timberwolf only uses half his loadout.
Yes, I was gonna say I'll use half my guns.
If you weren't
Enemies
running
one.
pulse lasers, I might be better.
Actually,
Right.
I do have a question for the two of you, since you have a little far more internal knowledge than we do about. Has there been any discussion recently of where the timeline might jump to next?
I have no idea.
Ooh.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a crazy. That's yeah. If I had to guess, and now this is just a guess, I would say we'd probably see it jump to 3060 or 3068. Would be my guess.
Well, let's see. When is the Bushwhackers 58? I want the Bushwhacker.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, if you go to 3060, that was when you're going to start to see Intersphere Omnitech, Wave 2 of Clan Omnitech, when you start to see things like the Blood Asp and
I also think that the Steiner Davian Civil War would be an extremely interesting event to roleplay on Community Warfare.
Well, the thing is, like with the whole timeline, and yeah, we have absolutely no clue. They've not said anything about that. But I would love to see events in BattleTech lore history be played out. I would love to see live events, like a weekend where,
like a
Dev-
Dookie
devs-
kind of thing.
yeah, I mean, I used to play the original Planet side. The devs would make these live events that would happen, and that kind of stuff. I'd just, yeah, it could be 2K, it could be anything that would just be fun. I'd love to see them embrace the timeline and have us on our end get involved with the events and just make it live the universe. You know, I don't know. I think there's so much potential there for things to happen. I hope it does get there.
I mean, it would definitely add an immersion effect. That,
Yes,
that
I love immersion.
That you couldn't have otherwise, especially given that there's so much history in the universe we're in. I mean, BattleTech is just, I mean, how many books were published? I don't even have a clue anymore. And, I mean, that's even just through the regular timeline, not even including any Dark Age stuff or any of the other, I mean, tech manuals and whatnot going through the Jihad era. And there's just so much material to take from and go with that if they do, like, I mean, it'd almost be kind of a historical battle kind of thing. And that would be awesome.
Yes.
Phil Spiral Face says that the missing Dorito bug is now exclusively applied to you.
All systems nominal.
Now we're teamed up with
Ganger
Aces.
says there are 62 BattleTech novels.
No, there's more than that, isn't there? I thought there was over 100.
Feel like there definitely is.
Oh,
Well,
you want
that-
me to give you a love
He's not
tap there,
counting
Tyson?
He's not counting the Dark Age shit.
No.
Yeah, that I can understand.
You shoot me again and
Come
Oh
on,
boy.
guys. Yeah, we need to win
Play-
a match.
Play nice, play nice.
All right, we're playing nice now.
yeah,
We're both pretty beat up.
I almost killed you there.
No, you didn't even core me, man.
You're like
You
a
didn't
shot
core me.
away.
Touch me in the soft spot.
Next on the BearNet, we have our angry match-off
Yeah.
between Tyson and Sans.
Saddle
Strike
clear.
online.
See, this is why we need a Solaris. You guys can 1v1 it,
Yeah.
put some money on the line.
Well, we've done a lot of 1v1s. We as a clan quite frequently, just because.
Yeah, we're trying to kill each other all the time.
Got something on that.
Really good.
Charlie 4.
Target.
Yeah,
acquired.
you probably gonna get me
Contact
killed
up
because
top,
of that.
Charlie 4. Contact
Got
down
out.
below.
Yep, Hunchback popped up over the ridge, Charlie 3.
New target acquired.
Thunderbolt, Bravo down below.
Airstrike activated.
Atlas coming out of tunnel.
Punch back up top.
Target acquired.
Target's marked Alpha.
2 mechs we could drop on if you guys all drop at once.
I'm
Alpha
ready.
Hunchback
You
is
wanna
up above with us.
Phil, let me know if you're good to drop.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
good
down
drops
here.
well.
Alright, let's drop.
Oh, coming.
New target acquired.
Atlas, behind you. Bravo.
Left arm critical
Roll.
damage. New target
There's also a
acquired.
cataphract trying to back out into the fight.
New target acquired.
Storm Crow is pretty messed up. Crit CT. Atlas outside.
Juliet.
Damn.
Place down.
There's a misery coming out of the tunnel.
Kilo.
New
Get a side
target
torso.
Yep, focus
acquired.
Kilo. AC-20's gone.
Alright.
Target destroyed.
Now he's dead.
Left arm destroyed.
Thunderbolt in the tunnel, going after him.
On with you.
Target acquired.
One right.
Tyson down.
Target destroyed.
Nice. Push out the elbow.
Target acquired.
Nima, Halbert.
Target destroyed. New target acquired.
Hotel Summoner. Primary. Last.
Target destroyed.
Yeah, Spiralface, I've heard a few people that say the Dark Age books were decent once they get going. I mean, it's not like the old books were freaking classic literature or anything like that. I mean, it is what it is, but I am old school as far as the stories go.
Well done, guys.
Yeah.
Phil pimping out the yellow. You just made Sans proud.
I love a Yellow Wing. Probably my favorite Innersphere mech.
Awesome. Well, good times tonight, guys. That was excellent.
Thank
Really
you for
appreciate you being here.
Stuff.
Yep. Hope to have it on again sometime. Maybe vice versa, eh?
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. This is the BearNet. Hopefully you'll tune in again next Monday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will see you then. So, hope you enjoyed. Have a good night.